the beginning of my adult life was in the UK. And I went to drama school at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland in Glasgow, and was one of the first Americans to go, actually. And so it was a big, incredible culture shock, but also a wonderful cultural awakening. And I love going back there and returning to teach and talk to them and stay connected to them. And from there, I was sort of plucked in my final year to take over for Jill Pace, a wonderful Broadway actor, in Andrew Lloyd Webber's The Woman in White. And I hadn't studied musical theater, so everyone in my class was a little like, what's going on?
She told me she's never had a singing lesson.
Well, at that time, I hadn't. At that time I was, and I've trained subsequently. But yeah, it's interesting. I was a bit of a natural singer. And, I started my career in the West End in musicals, and right after Woman in White finished, I actually was cast as Hoddle in Fiddler on the Roof, the second oldest daughter who follows her husband, the socialist Perchik, who was Ben Rappaport plays in our production. He was interviewed here. And she follows him to Siberia. And for me, Hoddle was a project that over the entire course of doing it, I did for about 2 years. And it was without question the most deeply experienced and deeply felt role I'd ever played. I felt like it was just me in a different time period in different clothing. And I think not to, dwell on it too personally, but the big sort of like mythological event of my life, and one of the reasons I went to Scotland, was because my father passed away when I was 18. And I had this moment of choice where I went, okay, I could proverbially curl up and die and stay in my hometown and get married and have a bunch of babies, which I do not want to disparage that dream if it's someone's actual dream, but it wasn't mine. Or I could, in the face of all this loss, really live, really have an adventure, and really be brave, because there's really nothing else to be afraid of. And so I thought, I'm gonna move to Scotland. So I did. And I think what's interesting is two things. I was able to use Hoddle's train station scene, where she very famously says, "Papa, God alone knows when we shall see each other again," as a way to really grieve and say goodbye to my father. And also really feel the parallel of an 18-year-old girl getting on a plane to Scotland and an 18-year-old girl getting on a train to Siberia to God knows what. And this feeling that she was going to be okay. And I think that's what inspired me to continue writing her story, and has subsequently led to my book After Anatevka.